Hello there, my beautiful thinking people, you, my 1585ers and beyond. We're going to have a full self-drive exercise in the snow, and we'll see how well we can do in the snowfall. We got quite the trip today, actually. One of my bestest besties is about to get himself his first Tesla, and I'm taking him there to do so. So we're going to get to see a good portion of the journey, and I'll see what of his private affairs I can... Okay, that's weird. It's not allowing me to engage. Okay, well, there's the first wart. Right door pillar camera blocked. Okay, let me try that. Let me try and fix that and see if that does anything, but I don't think it's blocked. I'm pretty sure all the cameras have been cleared. Always trust your Tesla. Always trust your Tesla. It's not. There we go. Beautiful puppies. Yesterday it was very tentative coming up here too. The cars parked that were on the left-hand side of the road coming this way appeared to the cameras to be actually driving. So they stopped behind a car that was parked on the right-hand side to allow them to go. And it took it about, I don't know, 5 seconds to realize, oh, I guess I should go. Which was very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to put on a little background podcast in here. It's going to yell at me any second. Yeah. As you saw, it was yelling. It just wasn't loud enough for me to hear it. What we need to have in our Model 3s, I'm sure Ys and X's and S's as well, and Cybertruck, is a way that we can change the suspension. So if you're just driving along and you want to have a nice comfortable ride, you should be able to choose that. And then if you're like on a high-speed road and everybody's flying, then you want that solid traction. You want those wheels contacting the road all the time. Okay, so in the background we're going to have a little bit of something. So we'll have the end of Stephen Mark Ryan, who has a wonderful YouTube channel that I listen to all the time. And because I have this like this, I can actually listen without watching the screen. Okay, it's really having difficulties, as you saw there on that curve, sticking to its lane. Now, of course, there was a car parked there, and the lane is kind of squeezed by that truck parked, so I'll forgive it for this one. Come on. Yeah, that's one thing that really gets on my nerves too, is when it takes off too quickly from a corner, especially on a curve. What happens is it spins the tires and then it gives you the big orange wheel of death. Not our fault. We didn't spin the tires. It did. I want you to be able to hear that in the background. Because long drives can be really, really boring. I believe I will be editing it, but I will not be editing out warts. If it makes mistakes, I will definitely be showing that. It's a place you must always be careful on, merge lanes. Sometimes it gets itself trapped and it follows along trying to get into the shoulder. And here is the new lucky about to be owner. Hello?
Wakey, wakey, if you get over here, you get eggs and bacon.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Yeah, whatever, you're up. I know you're up.
You think I'm as excited as you are?
Well, now I'm more excited because I got my insurance company called this morning.
Okay.
I just got off the phone with them. So it's all taken care of. I've got everything now. It only took the morning off.
Yeah.
You know, I called everybody last week, but no, we gotta wait till the morning off.
Of course.
So we got everything.
Good, good, good,
Everything now. So you should be able to go there and pick it up.
All right. Well, I am, of course, on my way. I'm in the car. And I'm taping our journey so that people can see how wonderful it can be after the hiccups to pick up a Tesla.
Yeah, one sec. Yeah, you know what? Where are you at? Then if you're driving. Oh. Somebody just wiped out.
The what?
Yeah, no, they're good. They almost didn't run into our guardrail.
Oh.
Anyway, where are you at?
I'm on the link, just about to hit Mud Street.
Have you got any weather yet?
Oh yeah, it's been snowing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm testing out the full self-drive in this nasty weather.
Yeah. Well, somebody just couldn't make the corner here and almost went into our guardrail as I was talking to you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, well, it looks like they had pretty shitty tires too, though. So.
Of course.
And someone ended up on Joe's front lawn again.
Wow.
This one went the furthest. It almost hit his house on the far side. Big people, man. But anyway. I'll see you in a minute.
All right, sir.
Yeah, go.
Ciao.
And I have a lot more to say on this, but right there, just a quick intro, park some of my thoughts before we get deeper into projections and other stuff. Thank you so much, James. And it's a much bigger concept. We need to dive into each of those areas that you just mentioned. It's pretty exciting. As you can see, the thing last night, it's certainly neither Jeff and neither really live stream last night. Jeff had to do it.
I know if I was driving, I would have probably taken that exit ramp at 70, not at 80. But remember, on ramps and off ramps, it's a suggested speed limit in Ontario, anyways. So while we're going here, folks, I want to address something as well. As you know, my new format now is going to be driving on FSD and broaching certain topics and seeing if we can get some information out there. So I've been watching and taking close count of the events that are going on in eastern Eurasia, or east central Eurasia. And this is what I want to tell you. I've been listening to coverage from all sides of the spectrum. All different outlets are doing their best to give you a vision of what's going on. And what I'm coming to a sort of conclusion on is that there is certain outlets that actually are more honest than the others. And when you look at the evidence of what's happening, it makes it very easy to understand that which ones are totally pulling the wool over your eyes. So let me give you an example. I love to box. So I was boxing this one guy, big guy, good sized guy, and I was missing every one of his punches and just pummeling this guy. Okay? Now, anybody watching that match would have said, I don't know if that guy ever laid a glove on Clyde. Okay? Now, if you were watching that match and then you came home and watched the news and the news said, oh, Clyde was bloody. He was just beaten so badly. They had to take him off, clean him up, and get him back into the ring. You'd be like, what are they talking about? Who are they talking about? Were they watching the same fight I was watching? It would confuse you. Oh, look at that, a VinFast in front of us. Another electric vehicle company from...
I was an early pioneer of AI.
Is it from
For
Vietnam?
the past 4 decades, I've used big data and technology to create $1 billion.
I believe it's Vietnamese. I believe.
help me manage
Anyways, nice looking vehicle. It's electric. However, it doesn't get the same accolades as the Tesla, but hey, all of them are assisting in the progression to sustainable infrastructure.
Click the button on your screen to watch my new video where I explain everything. I'm calling this new development the ChatGPT.
I hate commercials, especially ones that are just scammers, just trying to get your clicks, get you to put your credit card information in. So, anyways, going back to the news coverage and how to discern what's what. Use your own eyes. Take their stories as an indication that it's time to do a little bit of research on the topic and figure out who's right, who's wrong, who's lying, and who's straight up. So let me give you what I've taken from the coverage from all sides. The person they're calling the enemy has been winning hands down in like huge proportions. Like, I mean, the difference between the coverages that I'm watching is there are certain coverages that actually show you everything that's going on. Like, they actually show you. When they say they hit this target, they show you the guided munitions and they show you right up to the impact. Because, of course, many outlets now will not allow you to show the actual impact because we don't want to know. We know, but, I don't know why it is. You know what? If you're going to show dirty, nasty fighting, then you have to show dirty, nasty fighting. Can you imagine a boxing match where every time a punch was about to land, they bleeped it out? You would have no concept of what's going on there. And this is what they're trying to do so that whatever side is telling their story, they can all lie. Well, the other side doesn't even show footage of anything. Nothing. They claim all kinds of amazing victory, but with no evidence of it. And then the one side just shows you all the time. Look here, bang, whoop, whoop, boom, bang, whoop, bang, whoop, boom. Look at the crater. Look at, like, everything is shown except for actual impact. Anyways, folks, we need to do some research. You can't just take what you're hearing from the news. The news outlets are so biased, for, against, in between, up and down. It's impossible to take what they say as fact. Impossible. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm actually saying it like it is. They are horrible. Like, if they told me it was snowing today, I would not believe them until I came out and I saw snow on the ground. Or I would look in my Sentry cam from inside the house and go, oh, wow, yeah, my windshield is covered in snow. That's how bad they've gotten. But anyways, notwithstanding, as you've seen, the active monitoring system has been monitoring my attention the whole way and is doing pretty well perfect. FSD is doing pretty well perfect. So the other things I'm hearing from certain news outlets.
To me, the 22 degrees of freedom hand.
Let's go back to my analogy of the boxing match.
Was that final point, and since then
We've been talking to Clyde, and all Clyde is saying is that he doesn't want to fight this guy. He's terrified of this guy. He's scared of this guy. He wants our help to get out of the problems with this guy.
in the development process, because you can
But those of you who were watching saw the quiet confidence
modifying them.
and saw the pummeling inside the ring.
But the point is from there you go.
Then they'll tell you, well,
you go beyond.
we wanted to stop the fight long before, but Clyde was just ruthless. He just would not stop hammering and hammering this guy until we had to take him to the hospital. It's like, no, wait a second. You were watching the fight. You saw Clyde pummel him like 2-3 shots, and then look at the ref like, this guy's not responding. He's unable to absorb the punishment. And the ref just keeps pushing me on. And I hit him a couple more times and look at the ref like, did you see? I'm able to pause in between and this guy cannot even retaliate. But yet one side of the coin is going to tell you that I was ruthless and just wouldn't give this guy a break. Don't listen to them. You need to find clips of your own. You need to find actual evidence that shows you the truth. You have to find that, folks. You can no longer rely on these media outlets, especially what we would call the mainstream media or the legacy media. If you're listening to them, you're getting the wrong picture of everything in your world. Everything. I made a video a while back about the poor people in the western part of Eurasia. Okay, and it's extremely sad. It's extremely sad. They are without energy. With the winter quickly pummeling them, they have very little resources for heat to withstand the winter. Everything in their countries are becoming super expensive and almost impossible to bear. But they keep going. And you wonder, why would anybody keep going? Would you keep giving me money to feed myself if your cupboards were getting bare? Would you continue giving me money to feed myself when your cupboards are bare? Your fridge is empty. Your stomach is contracting. How long will you go until you decide that you need to take care of you and your family? Well, the Europeans have put themselves in such a pickle. They're now finally starting to stand up and go, wait a second, what are we doing? We're doing this at the behest of somebody whose fridge is full. Their cupboards are full. Their heat is blasting. Their air conditioning is running 24/7. And we're dying over here. Did we buy into the wrong narrative? Now that's a question. What do you think? Did they? I'm sure you've heard of proxy wars. Why do you think people are executing proxy wars? Because they don't lose human resources. They don't lose mechanical resources. They allow their proxies to lose everything. Folks, I'm trying to open up your eyes. I know a portion of you, you're walking around with your eyes wide open all the time. Some of you are not. So I want you to do some research and comment on this video as to what you found. And quote your research. Quote your research. Because that way other people can follow that. And if you're right, then they're going to get the right information. And if you're wrong, they'll get to see how easily it is for some people to be fooled. But that's okay, because it's not your fault. These guys are extremely adept at fooling everybody, at telling the narrative the way they want it told, and not allowing any additional voices to intercede. Do you remember times like that that have gone by in the recent past? where if you had any opinion on certain topics, they were crushed. I do. This is continual, folks. We don't ever get a break from this garbage. Anyways, back to our wonderful journey. As you can see, so far, I would say it's pretty dang flawless. And I have an old, nasty version of FSD that I've had in this car for a long, long time, praying and waiting for version 13 to hit this car. And apparently, before we get version 13 in here, we're going to get version 12.6. something. And apparently that is incorporating a lot of the V13 qualities and abilities, getting rid of a lot of the warts. We'll see. I would use this to go across Canada in the winter, but I would be attentive, like very, very attentive. Because sometimes it drifts. Sometimes it loses sight of where the lines are supposed to be. Sometimes it comes up too quickly on the rear of stop traffic, like right now. That guy's still in our lane. And look, we're only now making an adjustment. I mean, it did it safely, it does it accurately, but I'd like to err a little bit more on the side of caution. Just a little. So 80 is the speed limit here. We're slowly creeping up, which is good. It is a little slippery. Now, as you've noticed, by the way, no interventions, no demand for me to touch the wheel whatsoever. The internal active monitoring can actually do a pretty good job. For those of you who don't know, when you see that little green dot there beside the chill, that means the active monitoring is watching my attentiveness. If I put on sunglasses, it still is capable of determining if I'm attentive or not. Yes, I know if you were driving, you'd be going faster. I know. All right, there's a truck coming up behind me, so I'm going to do a little soft intervention and see if I can get it to hold a little higher speed, okay? Just so we don't have that guy freaking out behind us going, what's wrong with these people? Oh, it's feeling more confident. So it held the speed and actually increased. I don't know if you're listening to this simulated podcast. They're talking about the Tesla robot and the 22 degrees of freedom that the hand is enjoying. The fact that it will be able to do anything that a human hand can do. Anything. So it'll be able to operate equipment, it'll be able to operate tools, it'll be able to cook, it'll be able to play the piano, which apparently it's supposed to be able to play the piano this year, which is what we were told last year. Now, let me just put this in because I really get super annoyed at these apparent Tesla bulls, Tesla cyber bulls, Tesla this bull, Tesla that bull. They're all bull, is what it is. Because you know what I hear out of their mouth all the time? Well, you know, if Elon says it, I don't trust it. But I mean, if it comes from somebody else who's beneath them, well then, I trust what they say. Well, let me tell you something. If Elon says it, he has information from those people that are telling him where it's going to be and when. He's using his own discernment as well. And he's also motivating his crews by giving them a little harder timeline. Don't be sitting around here acting like the absolute bears that we listen to all the time that do nothing but poo-poo Elon Musk and his ability to discern what's going on around him. This guy is a massive success, top to bottom, in everything he touches, and yet you're going to sit there on YouTube and add your commentary to the bears that are out there by saying, well, don't believe Elon. You know, wait till you hear it from one of his underlings. And not that they are really underlings, because you know what? The way I ran my businesses as well, actually once I learned that being a boss is the worst thing in the world, is that we work as a team. There is no boss. There is no I, it is us. And I believe that that is exactly how Elon Musk is working. He's working in a team. And he's motivating his team. And he's keeping an eye on his team. There's a little drift. And I don't mean slipping drift. I mean, it was definitely over to the right. Outside of my comfort zone. So, you bulls, you Tesla bulls, you Tesla Uber bulls, you Tesla Cyber bulls, stop your crap, because it really is annoying to hear you talk like that. Either you have invested in this company because you trust its direction, or you don't. And if you don't trust its direction, then stop calling yourself a bull. You only call yourself a bull when you're making money, and when everything is going perfect. If that's the kind of bull you are, then you know what? If I'm starting a company, I don't want you at my back. Go somewhere else. While I'm struggling to make something successful, what I need is your encouragement, your trust, and your ability to see even partially what I see. So, rant over. I gotta stop, because really it pisses me off. Every time I hear them open their mouth and say, well, you know, Elon's timeline, you know, Elon's time, and, Elon thinks this, or Elon says that, but, I don't trust that's what's going to happen. Well, you know what? Stick it in your you-know-what and get the hang out of the realm. Look at what he has done for you this whole time. If you're an early investor, stop your noise. I can't stand listening to it. If you want to hear somebody, guys, that's really good at discussing Tesla and its accolades and its warts, watch Stephen Mark Ryan, the man with 3 first names. He's on YouTube, solving the money problem. Go watch him. These other ones, they're going to piss you off like they piss me off. Because if you can see the vision and you trust where it's going, and that's why you're investing, you don't want to hear bulls talking like bears. Okay? That's just my opinion. You might have a different opinion. Maybe you want them to be like bears so that you can just, I don't know, ignore them and reinforce your belief. If that works for you, great. It doesn't work for me. However, they don't take my belief either. Okay, this one's a little... Oh, good. Phew. I wasn't sure if it was going to actually merge over in time. I almost took the wheel. However, it has gone off onto the shoulder when I was being cut off by a truck, and it hugged the shoulder quite well. Actually, well enough that I was able to accelerate out in front of that truck and slow him down. So, not that I'm saying you gotta blindly trust FSD. Don't blindly trust anything. Be attentive. Be ready. And don't be foolish. Don't put it to tests that you shouldn't be putting it to. I'm sorry, I should have talked about this before too. As you notice, we're doing 74 right now. Back in the early days of even this version of the software. Now, I don't know how, because I haven't received any updates that have said that they're correcting these things. But it's looking at the road ahead of it and going, I need to slow down. And it does. It didn't do that before. It would be rolling along in the snow, and I would have to take over as we approach tighter curves, because it didn't look like it was slowing down at all. So I'm happy to see that it's slowing down for the road conditions. Oh, this is wonderful. As it sees better, it starts to accelerate. No slippage. It slowed down very quickly there and no slippage. Very impressed. It used to slow down at the signs that would say 50 ahead, and it would slow down to 50.
That was the industry. What is your expectation for Tesla?
Come on, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. 42. Nice, nicely done. Come on, come on. If it makes a mistake, it's going to actually give me the orange wheel of death. And I don't like that because it's not my fault. Look at how beautifully it did that roundabout in the snow. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be like those cyber bulls and the Uber bulls and the bulls. And I'm going to say, I don't know if this is really ever going to make it to full self-driving. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to take our hands off the wheel and just let the car do its own. Oh, wait. I've had my hand off the wheel this whole way in the snow with visibility up and down, lines disappearing and appearing, merges. Nah, you know, listen, look, Tesla's timelines are just off. You know what I mean? Give it another 5 years, maybe we'll be able to have a little confidence in full self-driving. Folks, 10 years ago, this would be considered magic and a miracle. If someone had a medical emergency and was moving along and their car got them to where they had to go, it would be called a miracle. And I have evidence of that when I was first here in Ontario, driving back and forth to Montreal, even after working all the way till late on a Friday, and coming back late on a Sunday after partying all weekend. And I sometimes didn't even notice like the last 5-6 kilometers. So it's almost there. That would be considered a miracle because there was nobody driving that car. I was gone into La La Land. And there were even times where my head went boom back into the seat, and then I've woken up. So those were miracles. This is the way it is.
What Tesla's building, I would say, at the complexity of the Tesla box.
Now, some of you have purchased different vehicles that have different levels of, or different degrees of level 2 assisted driving, and you truly believe that yours are really good. Well, if you're watching this right now, leave a comment. Tell me, what kind of vehicle do you have? What are your assistant features like? And can you imagine doing the drive we've just done?
But they could actually use the yield fallout from the actuators that don't work with the 22 wheel, that don't meet their current.
Wow, I have not had to edit anything other than the boring straight stretch. So when you're watching this, you will see basically 100% how this thing has conducted itself. From the roundabouts to everything, it's been the same all the way along. And I don't understand it because I'm telling you, I'm going in tomorrow to have the glass inside the housing here and everything all deep cleaned, they call it. I got a maintenance warning on here saying you're overdue for that type of cleaning in there. So, wow, it's almost like I don't need it anymore. Something has corrected itself. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they were able to remotely access or what they did, but holy, this is amazing. Another roundabout. Okay, a little unfair. We got somebody in front of us. Nobody coming from the left. So we are in.
I think the cost or the cogs around early Optimus robots.
I am so impressed. I am so impressed. Those other days when FSD was acting really strange, I had no explanation for it, but this is a road that is almost
And
never traveled.
what people are willing to pay, certainly to
This whole route.
that
I come here very infrequently,
what these actual
and the
places
car is doing the best drive it's done in almost any circumstance. Now, here we come to a road that's on a grade, and we have to make a left turn. Now, if that's going to force our tires to lose grip and orange wheel of death, we're going to find out. But I'm having a little bit of confidence that this is solved.
Eventually, time offset and differing levels of complexity.
Again, keep your eyes on things like this, because if it does go awry, you're going into snow and slip, and then you're going into somebody's property, or into a tree, or in a ditch.
Will winner take most? Yes, that's the way.
Okay, let's see. We're coming up here.
The manufacturing prowess and all the component parts that Tesla has is absolutely
I would have slowed down ahead of this.
And how fast will it come? That's the question. What will they
So
start
this
doing?
is the graded turn.
The way in which AI has progressed.
You're kidding me. I said I had confidence that it was solved.
Same thing. I actually believe so. So I'm gonna
It slowed down adequately enough to be able to take that curve. It probably notices the grade better than I do.
The economic shift, what's going to happen to humans. But I'm trying to map out the future.
Snow-covered rural road.
Where will they go next? And how much impact could these type of bots
Oh, so
have?
coming up is one of my pet peeves. Now, we're doing slow enough that if we cross it at this, it's going to be tolerable. But when there's rough train tracks, that's something that really needs to be noticed ahead of time, and we have to slow down adequately. Now, it needs to read these signs. It says, this is not a friendly train track. We're going way too fast. This is what I'm talking about. It started to slow down at the last second when it noticed how uneven that was, but it needs to slow down a little bit ahead of time. And it needs to read that sign.
Whatever they are in the first place, then the maintenance and everything else. But thinking about this is how can people position themselves in the future? Because that's been my absolute obsession for the last 6 months. How can people prepare for this job displacement? And then we think about AI
Wow.
job creation.
Except for
And
that,
this is the next slide.
absolutely beautiful execution. I wonder if that's Jeff.
The good things that can happen is, Elon talks about it sometimes.
Well, somebody else is taking that over, it looks like. And here's Dwayne's abode. Hey, Dwayne, how you doing? Okay, I guess he wants me to come in, so I'm going to come in. We're not going to listen to this on the way. I'm going to see if I can engage him in an interview, and we'll see if we can discuss a topic that could be very, very interesting. He does a lot of great research, and hopefully he can complement the little bit that I do. New Tesla owner coming up, guys. All right. Love y'all. Take care. It was great chatting with you. We'll talk soon.